How's it going, everybody? Henry here. It finally happened. My Anchor Ambassador ad has ended. In this video, I'm going to show you how much money I made from it, which it's actually quite a bit. So I can't be too upset that it ended, but it is kind of disappointing because that was an excellent source of revenue, and it happened at the end of this past week, and I just saw the money start going down. But there are some positives. So I'm going to show you what's good, the changes that Anchor has made, and then also what I'm going to do if I'm going to stay with Anchor, what the plan is from here on out. Because I do still think that Anchor is the best place to get started. If you're a new podcaster, it's still the best place because it's free, at least at the time of recording this episode. It's free. It's really user-friendly. It's very basic, simple. You just load it up and it gets your message out there, which a lot of people don't do a podcast or create anything because of the barrier of entry. They think it's hard, so they don't do it. So in this video, we're gonna look over all of that. So let's go ahead and dive into my computer here. All right, so I've got my computer up here. This is the money tab. So you have like your money, episodes, dashboard. And just to kind of show you, so let's swing over to dashboard so I can show you how this has affected things here. Last week, so there was that issue where the Spotify was not recording episodes. So there's actually two things that happened. And last weekend, Spotify stopped counting listens, which was aggravating. So it wasn't counting those, and it did add those back in, but I don't know how accurate that actually is. There's no way to tell, so hopefully they got it right. They did add that back in, but they added it in once my Anchor ad was no longer active. So I ended up losing big on that. We're talking about $250, maybe $300 that I didn't get. So it's a real bummer, but I still finished the week pretty strong. So 64,000 there, whereas the week prior I was in the 70s. So 6,000 loss. I think that I didn't get counted for those ones because if I look at actual Spotify, so if I swing over here and go to the catalog, you can see your like how your thing's set up. So if I look at the past 90 days, you can see that one, they fixed that area. If you saw my last episode, that was all the way up down, but overall it was pretty active. But here's the other thing that happened. So if I go back over to Spotify, is that accurate? It can't be accurate. That was before I uploaded. Let's see here. Let's see what this says. Yeah, there it goes, back to that $1. So that's $600. That's actually what I paid out this morning. But if you remember, my last payouts were in the 860, 875. So $600 is a far cry from that there. But so this is where I'm at today. So I'm at $1.08. This is Friday night. I paid out earlier in the day. So normally by this time, this would be around 50 or 60 bucks already. So that's not great, going from making 100 plus a day to now $1.08. This is the new Anchor Ambassador ad. So it's technically what they did is they closed out my old ad. So let's see where we can see that. So if you go to ended, this is the one I had. So I made $35,000 from this ad. So really can't complain, but they did end the ad. And when they ended it, they changed it over to this one. So it's still the same ad. I don't know if you can hear that or not.
Anchor. If you like the show and you would like to make your own, let me tell you about Anchor.
So that ad is still the same, but they changed these numbers here. So it pays a little bit different than it used to. It used to be just a flat fee every time it played. Now it's like $12.25 if it plays on an external one. So that would be like iTunes, Google, something like that. And then it's $15 if it plays on Spotify or Anchor. But the problem is, and I'm going to switch back over here so you can see me. The problem is that's a lot of money lost. And so, I've been with Anchor a lot of time. They have the new automated ads feature, and we'll see how those do. I listened to my podcast on iTunes, and then I went and listened to it on Spotify and just a few different other ones to see where the ads were playing. The ads were only playing on Spotify. So iTunes gets more than half my downloads. So if I get, say, 70,000 downloads, almost 40,000 of those are coming from iTunes. So it seems like those are no longer monetized, even though Anchor just came out saying that it would be monetized in both. I checked all day yesterday. all day today. Not a single ad played on iTunes, but it played every single time on Anchor or Spotify. The thing is, it's playing a bunch, but it's not updating here. There's no update. I don't see anything changing as far as like the revenue. So it might just be a delay or there's an accounting issue. I don't know. It seems like a mess. I spent a couple hours messaging support, trying to get some answers, and there was really no good answers. So my plan going forward, and this is something that was in the works anyway, I knew that one day they would probably cut my Anchor ad. I didn't imagine that they would keep that ambassador ad for me forever. I hoped that maybe they would want to do like a partnership with me, because I do feel like I'm a good, proponent of Anchor. I feel like I have a good, clean podcast that is just about goodness and helping people. So I felt like it would be a good merger, like a good combination of brand. If they didn't have to do anything, just keep that ambassador ad, I would have been happy. But in reality, I'm a pretty small fish in Spotify's sea, which Spotify owns Anchor. So that didn't happen. I messaged back and forth, really couldn't get set anything up. So my next move is I'm going to be changing platforms probably within 15 to 30 days. It really depends on the timeline. I have been talking to Megaphone for a while. Megaphone is still owned by Spotify. So Anchor and Megaphone are both owned by Spotify. But Megaphone has a much better ad network. Now you do have to pay to be on Megaphone. So it's going to cost me probably $350 to $400 a month because of the amount of downloads I get. But my revenue that I'm making should be considerably higher based on the models they showed me. But I knew I didn't have a choice. I knew that this day would eventually come. I had been talking to him for a while. I actually was in the works of making the switch anyway because I wanted to get in front of losing my ambassador ad. And it looks like I was off by a couple weeks. So I have a couple more weeks while they are vetting my channel to let me know if I will get into their audience network. Once I get into the audience network, I will make the switch officially. So they're monitoring my channel right now. They're seeing the downloads, all that stuff. And then I will switch. Now the thing with them, and this is actually the same with the automated ads, I think it's called, let's see what's it called here. Yeah, automated ads with Anchor. It's the same program. I think just fulfillment is probably a little bit better on Megaphone. Way more support. When you start working with bigger brands, the information that you can get from Megaphone is helpful and will actually help you get some of those deals because you need some of that tangible information and they need to be able to see it. They need to be able to get into your numbers and make sure it's real. And versus with Anchor, you can't really do anything that you can just send them a screenshot, which could be fabricated. So that's the downside. So I will continue to track the progress, let you know how it goes. I'm thinking about starting a second podcast to do on Anchor. So that way I can still stay connected with what's going on with Anchor, like how things are changing and still help people because that's still the best way to get started. Even if your ambassador ad goes to $34,000 like mine, that's great. So really can't be upset. It's just a bummer because now, with the ambassador ads, you could pay out immediately. As soon as you hit $10, you could pay yourself out and take that $10. So I was paying myself out every Friday. I got used to that Friday income. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. Versus with the automated ads, it's a 30-day delay and you cannot see what you're making. So you're kind of in the dark until you just get this payout. And then once you get the payout, you'll know what your average and you'll be able to run the charts and everything like that. I think more stuff's to come where you'll be able to see your daily stuff. So, I'm looking forward to that. But it was a real bummer. I was hoping today I could work something out, but I just couldn't. So I wanted to share that with you so that way you can follow along. If you think I should do a separate channel just so you can see what's going on with Anchor and I could still share that, let me know. I have nothing against Anchor. It's been nothing but great. But, I'm trying to do this professionally. I'm trying to take myself to the next level, and the income is a major factor in that. It's if you want to be able to leave your job or be able to create things, which I want to do both, I need the revenue there. So I can't stay with Anchor because of the switch. So it's unfortunate. But if you think I should do another podcast, I can. I guess I could probably just take the audio from this YouTube channel and port it over there, even though you're not able to see it. At least I would see what's going on. So anyway, if you liked the video, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment below and give it a thumbs up. But have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.